CNN.
Inside Africa, in association with Zenith Bank.
The countdown begins. Hands tight on the throttle.
When the lights go off, I told myself, don't worry about anything else, just have a good start.
The smell of gasoline and burning rubber in the air. The sound of engines screaming at 200 kilometers per hour.
It's my life. I eat, sleep, dream racing.
Whether on 2 wheels or 4, it's the thrill of the moment that drives these petrol heads.
You know, my emotions only start running once you're sitting in the seat on the track at the start line. I think that's when the adrenaline starts to pump.
And capturing the checkered flag is the only thing that matters.
This hill climbing event was special. It was just so much pressure, just like the real thing.
These are the sights and sounds of motor racing in South Africa. This is Inside Africa. On Monday through Friday, she's an accountant. On weekends, she gets her knee down to the tarmac.
In the beginning, they thought I was crazy. I remember the few times when we went to the track and the little one will tell me, Mommy, please make sure today you don't crash.
Morongwa Mohaupe is the first black female superbike racer in South Africa. She rides a 955cc V2 for Team Ducati. Known to her friends and teammates as Mo 83, she came to racing later than most, riding a motorcycle for the first time in 2013 at the age of 30.
I wanted a bike, and I've been nagging my husband, and he refused for so many years because of the stigma that the bikes are dangerous. And yeah, and then one day, I don't know what happened, for some reason when I asked him, can I get a bike, and then he said, okay.
Her husband James soon caught the bug and bought himself a bike too.
So we started on a 250, and then a buddy of ours told me that, you know what, the way you enjoy the caves at the mountains, maybe you should try circuit riding. And that's where I started following the sport, started going to races, and I told myself, you know what, I also want to do this, and I started racing in 2016.
Her first racing bike was a 600cc Kawasaki. The day it broke down turned out to be the break she was hoping for.
The Ducati deal came about when we were at a social racing event, and the bike that I had, a ZX6, gave me problems, and the owner approached me, Jos, and then he said, you look like you have potential, but your bike is disappointing you. And he said, from there, go and get your bike and riding gear. From today, you are sponsored.
Nicole van Aswegen was the first woman ever to compete in a national superbike race in South Africa. She joined Mo and Team Ducati, making the manufacturer the first in the country with 2 sponsored female riders. Growing up, Nicole spent most weekends at the track. Her parents' first love was drag racing, with motorcycles coming a close second.
When I left school when I was 18 years old, my dad brought home a TZR50. I'd never ridden a bike in my life before. And after the first day, about the second day, I got my knee down, and that's when I realized this is what I want to do.
Nicole started racing in 2005, the first woman to compete in the 600cc class.
In 2009, I had a big crash. I dislocated my hips, dislocated my shoulder. So there, I couldn't walk for like 6 weeks. So I took a break from nationals for a year.
But she came back to win the 600 Ladies National Championship the following year. By now, racing was in her blood, and over the next 10 years, she earned a reputation as the fastest female in Africa. Then in 2020, Ducati loaned her a 1000cc VR. She came second in her first race. The team signed her up there and then.
So I'm standing here with my V4, Ducati V4R, which is 1000cc. This bike is amazing. The electronics on this thing, you can give it a handful and it just listens to what you want it to do, put it that way. It's got amazing brakes, it's super fast, super gentle. So for me, I've never pictured myself being on 1000 because of my size and my weight, but this thing proved me wrong.
Like Nicole, motorcycle racing is a family affair in the Mohaupe household as well. When they gather together to watch TV, they tune into the sports channel and, you guessed it, superbike racing.
I have 3 girls, Tulu, Amo, and Letlhogonolo. And Tulu started racing 2 years ago, in 2018. She just got on a 150 and then she started racing and she's done so good until when COVID came and then she decided to focus on the school. But you know what, it's an opportunity that I gave my kids and I'm grateful for. So if in future she is comfortable to get back on and ride again, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Look, have you seen? He was literally on the floor, look at it.
But nothing matches the real thing. Whenever they have a few hours to spare, James loads the Ducati into their transporter. They make the half-hour drive to the Swartskop Raceway, where, for a small entrance fee, petrol heads can do what they love best.
I'm very lucky to have support from my husband. I mean, I had so many crashes, I had so many scary moments that every time when I come back and say I still want to get back on the horse, and then he's still supporting me. He's always at the racetrack. He will never send me to the track alone. He makes sure that he's right beside me, and I'm very grateful and lucky.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast, and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Artificial intelligence, blockchain, cryptocurrencies can be difficult terms to understand, but these buzzwords brought together thousands of crypto enthusiasts in Dubai. Marcello Mari was one of them. He believes combining AI and blockchain will revolutionize the financial services sector.
With over 10,000 cryptocurrencies out there in the market, it's very difficult for anybody to make educated decisions.
Marcello's company combines the dynamic duo of blockchain and AI to predict cryptocurrency performance. If prices are set to go down, it will advise customers to sell or buy if they're predicted to rise.
The average user can just purchase the Dynaset token and that's it. There's not much more that they need to do. And the AI will do everything else automatically.
To understand Italy, you need to look at the food. There's nowhere on earth quite like Tuscany. Oh my God, it just melts in your mouth.
Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy, Sunday on CNN.
At 1.5 meters tall and weighing just 46 kilograms, Nicole van Aswegen was told time and again that she was too small to compete on the big bikes. Undaunted, she set out to prove them wrong.
My training program consists of a lot of high-intensity training, a lot of running, and I believe that the fitter you are, the easier you race, because the final laps, you don't breathe the first 2 laps, and that already takes it out of you. And then to manhandle 190 kgs, you need to be super fit and super strong. So I do a lot of body weight training.
Monday to Friday, she's on her feet training in the gym. But weekends, she's back on two wheels.
So I also do motocross as a fitness training. We train every weekend mainly on an MX bike because it's affordable.
Nicole started racing at the age of 18, but she says she wishes she started sooner. She's not making the same mistake with this little person.
Go to the tires, go! So I have a daughter, her name is Tyler Cruz. She has been my life ever since I had her, but part of that is I really want her to become faster and better than me. I would like her to go overseas where I would like to be. She's just turned 4 and she's got a PB 50 that we take her to the dirt track every weekend just to go around and around to get comfortable on the motorbike. We would like her to start racing at the end of the year and hopefully beat us all one day.
Race day. It's bitterly cold, but by 6 a.m. the coffee is brewing, the tire warmers are on, and the tension is palpable.
Race day, you're nervous more than ever. You go out in qualifying, you try to set your best lap. For me, I'm not a good qualifier, I never have been, so I just take it easy.
You don't get used to the nerves, so it is a bit nerve-breaking.
It's doing this, yeah. It's just now, it's very nervous. I don't know if you see, when I get on the gas, it's shaking.
But it wasn't nervous like that yesterday?
No.
Teammate Murongwa Muhaupe, or Mo83 to her friends and fans, says she's learned a lot from Nicole, particularly in the build-up to the race.
So when the lights go off, I told myself that I want a good start. I think that's the most important. Just more, don't worry about anything else, just have a good start.
I don't think you have a feeling when you're racing. They call it red mist. You don't feel anything. I don't even think you swallow when you're racing. The only thing you're thinking about is winning, because if you don't win, for me, it's like losing.
It is sometimes turns, which is a good thing. I mean, we're all going for a corner, we're all going for a win, we're all going for a better position, but we always want to make a gap and have a good position.
The Ducati girls competed in 2 races at Red Star Raceway, about an hour's drive east of Johannesburg. For Mo, it's not about winning, yet.
The good feeling is finishing the race, and that I made myself proud, and I obviously made my supporters proud.
The nerves kicked in badly for Nicole in the first race. The day before, her dad, also a superbike racer, had crashed and was seriously injured.
His crash marks were still on the track, so it was hard for me to go through that turn every time, knowing that I picked him up on the side of the road and not knowing if he was okay or not.
But as the day progressed, she regained her confidence.
The first race, I came 3rd overall, which wasn't for me the best. The second race, I got my head together and I just thought about everything and relaxed. Did my personal best time that I've ever done at that track, and I managed to come 2nd.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast, and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Coronavirus. To get daily news updates in your inbox, sign up for the CNN newsletter. Coronavirus. Fact versus fiction.
That is delicious. It just melts in your mouth. That's the best one I've had.
Stanley Tucci, Searching for Italy. Sunday on CNN.
Whether open air on a bike or sitting behind the wheel of a car, motor racing is popular in South Africa. And one of the most anticipated events of the year takes place in Knysna on the southeast coast.
The Simola Hill Climb started in 2009 as a response to the global financial crisis. We started it to bring people to Knysna, and in that time, in the 12 years since then, we've run 10 events.
By 2019, it had become a premier event on the racing calendar, attracting 800 crew and participants and 17,000 enthusiasts to this usually sleepy holiday town. Then, just before the 2020 event, COVID struck, and the hill climb was cancelled. And by early this year, it looked like the 2021 event would suffer the same fate. Anticipating that this may happen, Managing Director Ian Shrewsbury had the idea to go virtual.
I didn't quite know how to do it at that point in time. It was all very new. Then I was approached by Monarch, who said they had the technology, and we found a good fit between us and themselves. And that's when we decided to go ahead and create the virtual Knysna Simola Hill Climb.
And the results were breathtaking. Every twist and turn, every bump in the road, tree and building were recreated. The cockpit view of the real track and the virtual track are almost indistinguishable.
The brief to us at Monarch was plain and simple: recreate the Simola Hill Climb. The technical realization was, of course, a challenge. It wasn't just building the track, but setting the rules and regulations, creating a championship, and running the live event.
Daniel Costello was tasked with the technical development. To start, he used Google Maps to plot out the course.
And then moving on from there, we got some good bumper camera footage that include pitch and roll, which was extremely accurate. Once I was happy with sort of a beta version of the product, I gave it to some professional drivers, and they sort of critiqued it. And they were like, no, there's a bump in this section. This road surface here has been tarred over differently. And they pretty much gave me the critical feedback that I needed to be able to make it as accurate as possible. Later on in the process, we started working on the modeling. So this pretty much took a photo of, say for instance, the estate's gate, and sort of modeling from scratch all of the textures, the glass panes, all of that, just from a photo. So that definitely took a while, as well as making from scratch the humans and the buildings, and it was quite intense within a 3D modeling space.
There were 297 entries from all over the country, with the pre-qualifying rounds run over a period of 4 weeks. The top 10 finalists then competed in the live event using the same start procedures as in the actual race.
I've been through lots of events, lots of competitions, won a few, but this hill climbing event was special.
Lorenzo Gualtieri is your winner, folks, by just 4 points.
It was just so much pressure, just like the real thing, I suppose. But yeah, it was just so close because, you know, the guy that was 10th could win, because if you make one mistake, you make a mistake in every run that you do. Out of the 5 that we did, you're going to find yourself lost.
In the 10 days of seeding, the 10 competitors did 3,772 runs, an equivalent of 7,167 kilometers. And the times set were within a half second of the real event times. Finalist Lorenzo Gualtieri has raced real cars as well.
Funny enough, I actually experienced more adrenaline on a simulator. I don't know why, I have no idea. It's just crazy how you sit, you know, in your own house, in your own room, in your own chair, your own simulator, and you get so much more nervous than you do when there's another 30 cars around you on a real race circuit.
The competition was intense, but Lorenzo held it together, winning the coveted title of King of the Hill, all done in his own rig, from his own home.
Okay, so let's just talk you guys through a run of the virtual Simola Hill Climb. So we're pulling up to the line, first gear to the red line, leave the clutch. All the way to the red line, second, third, fourth gear, flat out into turn one, nice early apex. Let it run wide. And as we're going up the hill, obviously big speed, about 220, look for the bush, press the brakes. I like to turn in early and get on quite early to get the best exit out possible. Now for the section that's quite technical, flat in almost, just a dab of the brake. Try to keep it as tight as possible. Car feeling a bit light over here and across the line. That's a run of the Samola hill climb.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast, and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
To understand Italy, you need to look at the food. There's nowhere on earth quite like Tuscany. Oh my God, that just melts in your mouth.
Stanley Tucci searching for Italy, Sunday on CNN.
There are moments in practice when you think, you know, I can go a little bit further, a little bit faster, a little bit later on the brakes, a little harder on the brakes, a little faster through the corner. But then you think to yourself, hang on, let's not be silly, because you can't just hit a reset button and then start again. And if you put the car through the wall, that's it, like you're out.
Jonathan Mogotsi is a team driver for Volkswagen in the GTC Super Cup, the premier motorsports championship in South Africa. And he's having his best year ever.
I came third in the championship last year, and this is my second year in the same series, and I'm currently tied for the lead.
While go-kart racing is the typical way a young driver makes his racing debut, Jonathan took a different route.
I got in from racing games, video games actually. So what has essentially happened is I competed in a competition called the Nissan GT Academy. And the premise of that was to see if they could turn a gamer and make him a racing driver.
He came second overall, inspiring him to give the real thing a try.
I got a small sponsorship together with a bank loan. I went karting, ran out of money 6 months later. And then about a year after that, I actually got my break because the Volkswagen launched a driver search academy in South Africa, which I applied for, got accepted. I competed and I ended up winning that driver search.
In 2017, VW signed him up as a team driver in the Polo Cup, a single-make series with some 22 identical VW Polo cars competing.
So my journey since 2017 has been nothing short of amazing. In my first year, I took my maiden victory around halfway through the season. I had Rookie of the Year in 2017. In 2018, I was a lot more competitive. Again, it was in Polo Cup, albeit in the new shape. And I ended up coming second in the championship that year. Bit of a tight squeeze. This is my 2021 Super Cup car. This basically started life as a Polo GTI, but in reality, it got fed some steroids and it came out an absolute beast. So the only thing it shares with the Polo GTI is pretty much the badge. Everything else is bespoke. We've got an engine from a Golf R pushing about 260 kilowatts at half the boost. We've got a sequential gearbox. It's controlled independently by Motec system. We've got a water meth injection kit just to keep things cool under race conditions. We've got a bespoke suspension, wheels, and a full aero kit in the car, and that essentially makes the car what it is, a race car.
If that all sounds a bit technical, that's because it is. And the reason having someone like Graham Nathan on your team is integral to your success. Nathan is the most successful driver in South African production car history.
I see that you guys have been tweaking, making some final changes for our next race heading into East London.
Well, we've been trying to make this thing as comfortable and as safe as possible for that Grand Prix track. We've done a whole bunch of work on the setup on the motor car. Because you're leading the South African Championship now, and we are, as a team, we want to make sure that you don't have any failures. And at the end of the day, we add up who did what, and hopefully we're the champions.
From on-screen to on the track, Jonathan believes simulation racing played an important role in getting him to this stage of his career.
I think, technology has advanced quite a lot in the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe that it's a really good stepping stone. And the only thing that you really need to adjust to in the real thing is the perception of depth and feeling the real G-forces through your body. My emotions only start running once you're sitting in the seat on the track at the start line. I think that's when the adrenaline starts to pump and everything that you've thought of before kind of disappears, and you just end up being in this bubble, this zone. And it's hard to explain, but you think of nothing. Once you get into the lead, you cannot wait for the checkered flag to come around. So every lap you come around the main straight, is the race over yet? No, it's not. Okay, focus. And you go around again. Is it over yet? No. Okay, and you go around and you go around, and that kind of plays in my head every time. But once the checkered flag comes around, you just get a huge sense of relief, weight lifted off the shoulders, and the emotions take over again with a huge excitement. Crossing the checkered line first is a great achievement for you as a driver, and it's a fantastic result for the team.
And when the engines are silent and it's time to head home, he spends time reflecting on his career so far.
Chasing your dreams and them not working out is, I believe, is part of the journey. It's up to you to be consistent and keep putting in the effort. And one day, you may just get your lucky break.
Inside Africa, in association with Zenith Bank.